you. I read this on behalf of my brave friend Elle, who has asked me to speak her words today, and I'm honoured she's trusted me with it. I can remember it like it was yesterday. It was a beautiful summer in 1998. I've always been a curious, talkative girl, friendly to anyone who ever smiled at me. You see, smiles at home were few and far between. I came from a rough, tough, brutal home where motherly love was non-existent. Feelings of being unwanted and simply in the way was all I'd ever known. So when this older man who was opening a kebab and pizza shop at the top of my road showed me attention, I didn't see any red flags or danger signs. Why would I? We're supposed to trust adults, aren't we? It started with innocent conversation. How old are you? Would you like to earn some pocket money? Would you like a lift in my car? Until it soon turned into, would you like me to be your boyfriend? This proposition came from a 54-year-old married Muslim man. I don't know if I was flattered or embarrassed, but I brushed off his comments and pretended I didn't understand. I'm only 13, I would say. In time, he had groomed my family, giving my older sibling a job, whilst my mum was enlisted to peel the shop garlic for him, in return for free pizzas and unquestioned access to me. Who else would go and collect the free takeaways and pizzas for my family? What started with groping escalated into blatant sexual assault in the front of his shop in full view of his male employees, and later on raping me in his car whilst parked in a derelict car park in Salford. He asked me to marry his son. He propositioned me, requesting I come and visit some of his friends with him so he can share me with them. He would buy me clothes and jewellery, passing them on to my mother for me from his wife. He would give me money, food, after abusing me, almost transactional, and because I had nothing, I didn't turn it down. With the money, I would buy those in my peer group gifts in the hope that they would like me and want to be my friend. Such was my lack of self-worth. Due to being bullied at school, terrified of being at home due to my own mother being cold, cruel, violent and emotionally abusive to me, I kept what was happening to me to myself. I was self-harming, I had suicidal ideation, I was grieving the death of my grandmother, until over a year later I broke down in school and disclosed all to my science teacher. My family was shattered, our house was attacked, the windows were smashed. I was spat on in the street, abused by local yobs who had been paid off by my rapist. I was the second of 5 children, had to move home. I gave my statement to the police and he was charged later on. When I was 15 and whilst preparing for my GCSEs, I had to sit and tell a whole room what happened to me when I was faced by his barrister via a video link at Manchester Minchell Street, Crown Court. Due to the successful smear campaign, how his defence tore me apart. They called me wayward, drunk, violent, sexually promiscuous liar, how my father wasn't even my biological father, how I was unkempt, bullied and neglected. He was found not guilty on insufficient evidence. I was a child. After all the abuse and violence in my life, I was broken. I was shut down, determined to never tell anyone anything else ever again. If I was being abused or hurt by anyone, what was the point? It later transpired, told to me and my family by the Leeds CID and our family liaison officer, that my rapist and abuser had been well known in Doncaster as part of a well-known grooming gang, after he had also raped and abused other teenagers in South Yorkshire. And that once exposed, he was forced to leave the area, and that is how he ended up in Salford. I was provided no aftercare, no counselling, no apology. I was abandoned and discarded because I was a little white slag from a council estate in Salford. The word my rapist shouted at me when he drove past me whilst on bail. I am now a 39-year-old mother. I'm a born survivor, not only from childhood violence and abuse, but also grooming, gang, rape and abuse. I never let it break or define me. I've worked ever since leaving home. I am not nothing. I have a voice. We are now women, mothers, and as survivors, we deserve to be heard. Speaking up for every other girl that went through this. We were told that nobody wanted to touch our cases because it would incite racial hatred in the communities where we lived. Where is the respect for our truth? We were targeted because those Muslim men found white girls subhuman and easy targets. We were young girls who deserved to be protected, but instead we have been called liars, racist, right-wing xenophobes, disbelieved and failed by everyone from the police, social services, family members and the judicial system, all because they care about political posturing more than they care about the actual truth. We will be heard, we will speak out no matter how uncomfortable it makes those who will never have to walk a day in our shoes. Yes, this is about race. It's about white girls being targeted and made dispensable because of our ethnicity and our impoverished working class background. Anyone that tells you otherwise is as ignorant as they are heartless. To my fellow survivors, never let your voice be stolen. They may have violated our young bodies and intimacy, but they will never ever take our bravery, courage and truth.
Well done. You did it.